know you want me.
Let's go fight evil.
So I guess it was 2012, the show got not renewed. And then, it was a year after that we put the IndieGoGo campaign together, and which was great, and it got everybody fired up and started about it. And we got all these different people on board. We got Telefilm Canada on board. We got Raven Banner, our wonderful distributors, on board, FearNet. Before they got absorbed into Chiller, threw some money in. So we got a lot of different financing in there. So the tricky thing about financing is, even though all these people say, hey, we're going to give you all this money, it's like, we're going to give you all the money after it's done. So what you got to do is you got to find a bank to say, hey, we'll lend you all the money until the movie's done, and then you can pay us back when everybody pays you. And that took us a really long time to close the bank, because there was a lot of paperwork to do. So that's kind of how it took so long. So to kind of just illustrate how long it's been, Charles and I actually haven't seen each other for 3 years. The last time we saw each other was when we were doing the initial dialogue for all of our folks over here. And I've had 2 extra children during that time as well. So. Once we raised all the money for the animated feature, it was like, oh, well, this will eventually get done because people gave us money. So we've got to deliver something. So yeah, it is kind of insane to actually be here now and be like, people can watch it, because for a very long time it was really just Rich and I and our team just watching it every day.
And it was cool to see, because I haven't seen it. I've been waiting, man. I do these cons. I do a good amount of cons throughout the last few years, and a lot of people have come up and been like, when's the movie coming out? I'm like, I don't know, I'm waiting. I want to see it. I almost didn't want to watch the beginning here, because now I'm ready. I want to watch the rest of it. So I say we drop the panel and we watch the rest of the movie.
So much fun seeing the first 13 minutes. We got to see it. I mean, Bill and I saw a rough assembly a long time ago, but seeing it fully animated, it felt like watching an episode, but almost better. It was really good. Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the first 13 minutes?
My boobs are real big. I was like, whoa, and then it was all I could think of. It was pretty busty. It was pretty much all I could think about for a minute. And then I enjoyed, and then once I got into it, it was like, great. I mean, this is like my TV family, so it's just fun to be here. We always have a good time, like being together, laughing, and it was fun to sit there, and I'm looking forward to the screening tomorrow where we'll get to watch like the whole thing together.
Well, Todd, first of all, is not very smart, and he's really selfish, and so everything that he does is pretty much at first for himself, and then I think what I liked about him in general was that he would lay down his life for the gang and for people in the end, after a lot of reluctance and stuff like that. So there's something, he gets a little bit of we'll call it performance anxiety in the movie, and it starts about being about that, and he wants that to not be the case anymore. And then it turns into something else, which I think is usually what it's about with him, whether he'd admit it or not. Whether he'd admit that it's like, about saving his friends and stuff. There's a really good line I like when he's talking about Bill, when he says, or Curtis, and he says, as if I don't have enough things to feel bad about. And I think that's like him through and through.
May I say something? And you can stop me anytime because it's your character. But is it that you're an asshole, or is it that you just are a little selfish?
It's that he's a selfish asshole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Todd is incredibly selfish, but there's a redeeming, as I said in the panel, there's a redeeming quality to that.
He's got a perfectly smooth penis.
Perfectly smooth. But yeah, he absolutely murdered Hannah, and it was unintentional, but I think what he does afterwards, where he doesn't take responsibility, it says more about the actual, it says more than the actual way that she died.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to own up to it. I think because it hurts him a lot, but, yeah.
People asked it in the panel about the possibilities of, further adventures of the Todd gang in an animated form, possibly an animated series. Would you guys be into that?
Oh my gosh. Like, Todd holds such a special place in my heart, and if I could do it every day for the rest of my life, I'd be super happy about that. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to keep going with this.
It would work so well as a cartoon. Like it would really make sense to do it.
I'd like to see it turn into like Star Trek. Like Roddenberry, I'm sure, did not think in '66 that this thing will go on for 50 years. I mean, I'm deluded now. I know I'm being deluded saying this. But I'd love to see it just keep going. And spin-offs. And we always talked about the metal dudes and their backstory and doing like a Highlander kind of thing with the metal dudes and mixing with some like Conan and like. So we spent 10 years working on this fucking thing, and it was like ideas, and it would be sad to see all those ideas just go back in the drawer. So film, TV, video games, I'd be comic books. I'd be content to keep writing this to the day I die.
So if they did do an animated series or another film or something like that, like jump back in, right?
I think I'm done with the show. Yeah, I know really? That's like, yeah. I think I would be finished with Todd. I know everyone's like hearts like. Yeah, I think it would be done for me. I think I'm gonna get emotional here. It was really, really hard, and there's some interviews that I did that kind of show that. People would ask me, they're like, "Where'd you go? You kind of disappeared, like you haven't been around." And the reason is I was so emotionally invested in the show, and doing it that like I was really heartbroken when we didn't finish the way that we wanted to and all that stuff. So. People are like, you just kind of disappeared off the map, you deleted your Twitter, and I was like, yeah, because it really hurt to talk about the show a lot. And it may have seemed like I was not caring, but it was just like, I missed it so much, and I missed, so like once we got to do the film and everything like that, I was like, cool, like I'm good, I can like kind of like lay this thing to rest, for me anyway. I don't think that they couldn't do the show, like legitimately, like, do another voice, but for me, I think like it was a beautiful experience, and I know that's a hell of a bomb to drop in the interview.
Hey man.
Yeah.
I won't deny. The scoop. I won't deny that a little smidge of disappointment, but I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
What about you, Bill? Like,
are you gonna do 20
I would
seasons?
do, yeah. Yeah, I would do it again. I thought we were doing it again. I thought that's what we were here for. And we're not.
Yeah. Well, you are. That's great.
Am I?
Yeah.
Thank God.
You're going to go to a farm upstate.
A farm?
Yeah, there's gonna
Upstate?
there's gonna be.
Oh, they have rabbits and puppies.
And new Todd episodes. Yeah, it's gonna be great for you.
That's gonna be great. Yeah, no, I'd do it again.
And we're